Hello everyone, this is the Raj Ramsran. This is the oral defense of my work for the capstone proposal of the impact assessment of invasive species on biodiversity and ecosystem functions of the Everglades. Florida Everglades is a unique ecosystem and is plagued by numerous threats. It contains one of the world's largest ecosystems restoration project in addition to its unique natural environment. The South Florida ecosystem is also characterized by a culturally diverse population of almost 8 million residents, including two Native American tribes, world-renowned recreational opportunities, and a strong agriculture and tourism-based economy. Florida is second only to Hawaii in the severity of the threats posed by invasive exotic species on U.S. native habitats and species. Florida is particularly vulnerable to the introduction, invasion, and establishment of non-invasive species because of its subtropical climate. The existence of major ports of entry and large-scale pet, aquarium, and ornamental plant industries active in the region. The Everglades, a unique and biodiverse ecosystem, faces an unprecedented threat from the invasive Burmese python, which has established itself as a top predator in this fragile environment. Originally introduced into the wild through the exotic pet trade, these pythons have thrived in the subtropical climate of South Florida, where they lack natural predators and compete with native wildlife for resources. The presence of Burmese python in the Everglades has led to severe declines in native species populations, disrupting the natural balance and threatening the overall health of the ecosystem. Notable studies, such as those conducted by Dorcas, have documented significant reductions in mammal populations in areas where pythons are prevalent. This predatory impact extends beyond mere population control. It alters the food web dynamics and ecological functions such as nutrient cycling and habitat structure, which are crucial for the economic ecosystem sustainability. Furthermore, the Everglades serves critical roles not only in biodiversity conservation but also in the socio-economic fabric of South Florida, supporting industries such as tourism and water management. The disruption caused by the pythons thus poses not only ecological but also economic risk, despite efforts to control the python population. Current measures have not been significant to curb their spread or mitigate their impact. This study aims to provide a comprehensive analysis of the ecological consequences of the Burmese python invasion, identify the key areas where these impacts are most detrimental, and propose informed strategies for management and mitigation. By understanding the specific interactions between these invasive predators and the Everglades ecosystem, this research will contribute to the development of more effective conservation strategies, helping to preserve the region's biodiversity and ecological functionality for future generations. As we delve into the core of our investigation, we encounter pivotal questions that guide our exploration of the invasive Burmese python's impact on the Everglades. These questions not only seek to unravel the ecological consequences, but also explore viable strategies for mitigation. Our first question asks, how do Burmese python impact the biodiversity of the Everglades? Burmese pythons, as an apex predator, have reshaped the food web of this unique ecosystem. The decline in populations of key mammalian species such as raccoons, possums, bobcats illustrates the direct impact of these invasive predators. These changes trigger a trophic cascade affecting species and various levels of ecosystems, ultimately leading to a broad ecological consequences. And if we look at our diagram on the left, it shows how many of the species are affected for a Burmese python to grow 13 feet in approximately 5 to 7 years. And our second question, what are the specific effects of Burmese pythons on the ecosystem functions of the Everglades? The disruption extends beyond the visible. Pythons influence crucial processes like nutrient cycling and water purification. Changes in the population of herbivores affect vegetation patterns and hydrological cycles, further impacting soil composition and water quality throughout the Everglades. The Burmese pythons, having no natural predators in the Everglades, has significantly disrupted the ecological balance. Here, the focus is particularly on the impact on marsh rabbits population, which serves as a proxy for understanding broader effects on the ecosystem. If we look at Figure 3, which details the mortality rate for rabbits, this graph illustrates the weekly mortality rates of marsh rabbits from pythons compared to other mammals across different temperatures. Notice the sharp increase in the mortality rate from pythons as temperature rises, highlighting how pythons are more effective predators in the warmer conditions. This is crucial because it suggests a potential increase in predation pressure as global temperatures continue to climb. The 95% confidence intervals indicate the variability in the data, but the trend is clear. Pythons are a significant and growing threat to marsh rabbit population, which are key herbivores in the Everglades. Marsh rabbits play a critical role in Everglades by influencing plant community dynamics and nutrient cycling. Their decline can lead to overgrowth of certain plants and alter the physical structure of the habitat, which in turn affects other species and overall water flow. Thus, the predation impact by pythons is not just a loss of mammal species, but a cascading effect that impacts the entire ecosystem functioning. If we look at Figure 2, the map, it shows the study sites in South Florida where these observations were made. The varying colors represent the frequency of python observations, with darker shadings indicating more frequent sightings. Sites like the Coastal Prairie Trail and Factahatchee Strand Preserve State Park are key areas where pythons impact on rabbit populations, and by extension on ecosystem functions have been particularly noted. The data from these studies are integral as we consider management strategies. Understanding where pythons are most active helps us prioritize areas for intervention and possibility, restoring some of the ecological functions that have been disrupted. With these items in mind, our research statement and hypotheses are: Hypothesis 1, pythons reduce native mammals populations, and Hypothesis 2, pythons alter ecological functions. Some of our sources of data will be coming from South Florida Water Management District, Florida Fish and Wildlife, National Park Services, and the APUS Online Library. The field observations will be coming from the python hunters from both South Florida Water Management District and FWC. And some of the analytical procedures we'll be using will be statistical analysis for quantitative data, GIS mapping, and quantitative analysis for policy and strategies. This research highlights the ecological disturbances from Burmese pythons, informing targeted conservation strategies and aiding policymakers in resource allocation for invasive species management. It also shows the mitigating the impacts of pythons, preserves the Everglades' crucial role in supporting local tourism and water management, essential for South Florida's economic health and community well-being. It also advances our understanding of invasive species dynamics and serves as a reference for global research. Through community outreach and seminars, we also enhance public awareness and encourage active participation in local conservation initiatives. Different agencies manage invasive species with varied policies, complicating removal processes across adjacent lands. On South Florida, Water management lands, access requires official permission, licensing with specific compensation rates for python. And for instance, agents are paid per hour plus a bonus based on python's length. In contrast, on FWC lands, although similar rules apply, licensing compensation vary, and contractors face service fees and access restriction without FWC accompanying. The different management practices and regulations across agencies lead to communication issues among the hunters and managers. These lands often border each other, allowing hunters to unintentionally move from one jurisdiction to another, and this can complicate illegal removal of invasive species as regulations vary. Catch and release is illegal, and violators face fines. Additionally, each agency uses distinct methods for data management and analysis. In conclusion, our study on the Burmese pythons reveals their significant impact on the Everglades biodiversity and ecosystem functions, highlighting the urgent need for effective management and collaborative conservation efforts. Our findings advocate for innovative control measures, continuous ecological monitoring, and enhanced public engagement. To address these challenges, let's continue to work together to preserve and protect the Everglades, ensuring its ecological integrity against invasive threats. As we conclude our journey through the intricate and urgent issue of Burmese python invasion in the Everglades, let's recognize the profound responsibility we hold. The path forward is clear. Through dedicated research, collaborative efforts, and sustained public engagement, we can restore the delicate balance of this unique ecosystem. Together, let's continue to champion the cause of conservation, ensuring that future generations inherit an Everglades rich in biodiversity and vibrant in function. Thank you for your attention and commitment to preserving one of our planet's most vital natural treasures. Lastly, these are my references, and I would invite any questions or feedback from our class. Thank you.